Yeah, this podcast is Andy and Naomi's, where they can both laugh and hang with all their homies, talking excellent vacationing with brunches and cuddling, to messy situationships and conscious and coupling, from Netflix hookups to single them with some Hulu, text, sex, regrets, or feeling on your new jubu. They gon' talk about it, yeah, you are invited, needing therapy, I guarantee, baby, we got it.
It's couples therapy. Couples therapy.
Hey everyone!
Yo!
We wanted to introduce you to Couples Therapy, a new podcast hosted by me, Naomi Ekperigan.
And me, Andy Beckerman. And it's going to be on the How Stuff Works network. The one you're listening to right now. Naomi and I are a real-life couple.
So deep in love. So deep in love.
How deep?
Like Olympic-sized swimming pool deep.
So deep it puts your heart to sleep?
Yes, we're like flatliners. We're just skating on the edge.
We've been doing a live show called Couples Therapy since 2014. And we moved out to LA last year, and we got a summons in the mail, and we are legally required to have a podcast be out here. And so we're like, well, why don't we turn our live show into a podcast?
I mean, whatever we could do to get from under the government's thumb. You know what I mean? They come right after you. They say, we noticed your change of address. Where's your content?
Yeah.
And I was stymied. I was terrified. I said, how do we get them off our back?
Yeah, the U.S. Podcast Commission, their jackbooted thugs came to our house and dragged us out and said, start a podcast.
And I'll do anything, you know? I'll do anything.
To get rid of those jackbooted thugs, I'll do anything.
I'll do anything to get rid of those thugs.
So, what's the show? That's what you're asking yourself. You're like, well, I love Naomi's voice. I love Andy's voice. So, check mark. That's great. But what is the show that we're going to hear? Well, okay. On the live show, what we do is we have stand-ups that are spouses, that are lovers, that are ex-lovers, ex-spouses, that are friends and siblings, etc., etc., etc. do sets together about their relationship.
They pretty much come together and tell us stories, how they met. Maybe stories of going on the road and hitting up the strip club, you know? Stuff about the first date where they knew they should be together, or the moment they knew they shouldn't be together.
Mm-hmm. The very first set Naomi and I did, Naomi told her jokes about me, and then I responded to them.
Yeah, you get to tell your side of the story in that instance. Basically, you're going to hear...
You gave me a voice.
I did, because honestly, guys, you've got to give white men a voice in these trying times. All right? They're going through a lot. They're not being heard. So the beauty of the Couples Therapy live show is that you're going to hear some of your favorite comics and people you don't know, but you're going to love, doing something that's different from their traditional act. It's stuff you never heard them do. You know, telling stories with somebody who they have a shared history with. And because they're both comics, it's going to be hilarious.
Yeah. So in the podcast commission, they grabbed Naomi and myself, they put us in separate rooms and interrogated us, and they're like, what's your ideal podcast? And we're like, well, why don't we take the best sets from the live show and then give them to the listeners, and we'll talk in between, and we'll maybe interview some couples in the studio, and they're like, approved. They had a big stamp. They stamped it on our clothes.
They let us go. You know, it was 48 hours. I was fully soiled. I was starving. But what I love the most is that even under duress, Andy and I had the same idea. Even in two separate rooms, we came together in that moment. And we're coming together now to give you guys the best of the Couples Therapy live show in a beautiful podcast form. So, as you already get, we're a couple. We're deep in love. We fought the government, and the government won. But maybe you want to know a little bit more about us.
We have been together for 8 years. We're engaged. We're betrothed, as they say. At our wedding, there will be food stations.
There's going to be food stations. There's going to be mason jars filled with hydrangeas because I'm basic. It is going to probably be in a barn, okay? I'm not above it. It's all I want.
There will be mozzarella sticks, maybe. We'll see. We're going to fight over that one.
Because I'm like, this is not a child's birthday at Chuck E. Cheese. But Andy do love a mott stick. So give and take. That's what love is.
Speaking of Andy loves a mott stick, why don't you describe me, and then I'll describe who you are. We'll introduce the audience to who we are through each other's eyes. So you maybe the love we see for each other will transmit through these microphones.
Definitely. Okay. So, Andy, Okay, Andy is a white male goof. Andy was a professor of philosophy.
Yes, I am a former philosophy professor.
And he chucked all that aside to pursue comedy.
Something my parents are thrilled with.
I mean, honestly, thank God you got into podcasting. So they had something they could show their friends.
Show, by the way, they do think podcasts are videos. So that is true.
Andy is the host of the Beginnings podcast, which has been going on for 8 years, where he interviews people.
A very serious podcast about people's childhoods.
And he's a house performer at UCB. He was a house performer at UCB, which is where we met. You've written for Pete Holmes, Cedric the Entertainer. You're doing great. I think in summation, Andy Beckerman's doing great. If I had to describe a personality in one word, I would call you a scamp. Yep, because you be goofing.
Yeah.
You be goofing, you be cheeky, and you have a sweet face.
Oh, that's very nice. Hey, I'm putting you on the spot. I love acronyms.
I know.
Here's the thing you'll learn about me, audience.
Listener, you'll learn.
If you could turn scamp into an acronym to describe moi,
Yeah.
what would you do?
Okay. Scamp. Silly. Caucasian.
All right. Off Caucasian. Jewish.
Caucasian. Adult. Male. Playing. That's good, right? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that's definitely what a scamp is. Most of the time.
I'll be honest, I'm a little jealous because the dumb acronym I came up with when you were talking was...
Oh, wait. You weren't listening to me?
No.
Wow.
We've been
wow.
together-
Wow.
We've been together for 8 years.
Uh-huh.
I've learned how to half listen.
That is so rude.
Wait, let me tell you my dumb one.
Uh-huh.
And maybe this will prove the silliness. Shivering creature, animated by malevolent passions.
Like, why? Like, why would that... Like, malevolent passions? Like, no one even talks like that. Andy, you are so 18th century sometimes. Like, you should be, like, writing in leather-bound books.
Thank you. I do feel Victorian.
At times. I mean, honey, you have been overcome with the vapors in the time that I've known you.
Now, we've been in 3 different apartments. I've forced us to have a fainting couch in every single apartment.
Every single one. Okay, so I feel like I got you right. Now you describe me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you're the queen of my heart.
Wow.
Can we start with that one?
That is real tender.
Yes. You're a writer. Obs. You are a stand-up. If I can pay you the compliment, I would say you are one of the greatest stand-ups of your generation.
Wow. Okay, listeners, I mean, that is in part love talking, but you can also be the judge.
Well, I think there is objective evidence that shows you are that good. You've been on the Two Dope Queens podcast a ton. You co-hosted an episode. You were on the HBO special for the Two Dope Queens. You have your own Comedy Central half hour. I was there in New Orleans, shoving beignets in my face. I witnessed you killing it.
Thank you so much.
As the people at the table that I was sitting at was like, stop laughing beignet powder all over us.
Yeah. You mean powdered sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I call that beignet powder.
Okay, so now that you get a little bit about us, I feel like that sets you up nicely for the clip we want to share with you from one of our live shows. Because we believe that we owe it to you guys. We owe it to America. We owe it to the Podcast Commission to take the first hit. We've decided we wanted to share with you one of our sets from the live show to give you a taste of what you're going to be hearing every week on Couples Therapy. This clip is from a March show at Nerd Melt in Los Angeles.
R.I.P.
Where
Rest in power.
Which was our... See, he be distracting me with his interjection. Anyway, so this is a clip from our March show, which is our anniversary month, and we told the audience a little bit about how it all began. Give it a listen.
Roll it. What's up, everyone?
Hi, thank you for sitting up front. You're very brave.
Thank you.
No, I'm kidding. No one's gonna hurt you. Thank you, though. Hey guys, thanks for coming to the show.
Thank you.
Yes, you guys, on a rainy day.
Yeah.
This show for us is a special one because tomorrow marks our 8-year anniversary. Can you imagine?
Thank you.
Thank you. 2 terms, baby girl.
March 11th, of course, in honor of our favorite band.
Yeah. What? 311. Oh my God. 311.
I could not pick a 311 song out of a lineup. I couldn't name one.
I confuse all those, like all the number bands. You're like 311, Sum 41, 182, Blink 182. I'm just like, it adds up to 1,000. I don't know. I don't know any of those bands, but
8 years ago tomorrow,
yeah,
we hooked up for the first time.
yeah, and
What that means, we smooched, all right?
Yeah, it was like
for a while.
It was very tame.
Yeah.
But that's like what I needed, I think. You know what I mean? Like you be dating in New York and you like, well, you just hold my hand, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Something slow and steady. And we always we counted from the first time we hooked up because like Andy, I knew when I was gonna hook up with Andy, it wasn't gonna be a one and done because he's not that kind of guy. Like you don't meet him and think, okay, he gonna leave me on the curb. You know what I'm saying? I just did, like I knew, you know? Plus we were in the same comedy circle, so I was like, even if it doesn't like become a thing, I'm never gonna not see his ass. So it was like either way I was in for something.
Well, also, like I don't like one night stands. I don't like here's the thing for me. The pain of the possibility of an awkward moment outshines the best orgasm any of you have ever had ever. So I would rather
possibility of
an awkward moment. So I would rather be in a loving, committed relationship where awkwardness is okay sometimes.
That's true. Well,
Yes.
that's the whole point.
Yeah.
You want to get in relationships, you can finally let yourself go. You know what I mean? Stop pretending.
Both of us can stop sucking in our stomachs.
Oh, still doing
That's
it.
the dream.
Doing
right?
it now.
In the moment I said that, I'm like, oh, suck it back in. Like I forgot. I was so comfortable up here with you guys. I like let it out. I'm like, nope.
But like, so given what Andy's awkwardness, I had to make that hookup happen, y'all. I like did that work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Sure.
and I will say I did that work in part because at that time it had been 6 months since I had known a man's touch. Okay, I was thirsty. All right, I showed up at Andy's house, y'all. Okay, I went to Andy's house on a mission. Okay, I showed up with cupcakes. I showed up there trying to be cute, and I get there, and I'm like, okay, eyes on the prize, you know what you're here for. And I get here, and Andy, and like we have some like chit chat, small talk, which is fine, but like he wasn't trying to make anything happen. And then his roommate comes in, and like they start doing bits for 45 minutes. I was livid. I had to take a moment and look inside myself and be like, is this worth this? Do I go home now? You were doing goddamn bits.
All right, look, mixed signals. You brought cupcakes. I don't think
Mixed.
from crumbs, which are giant, I don't think that a stomach full of baked goods is a good foundation for physical love.
Okay, truest aphrodisiac I've ever known. Okay, what are you saying? So that's why you didn't.
Well, now that I know you, yes, like a full meal at an Italian restaurant is.
And then I'm ready.
And
like, then I'm ready.
That is foreplay for you, right? I get it now. But then,
Oh my god! But like, it was ridiculous. Weren't you like you didn't think I was gonna?
In my defense, okay, I am severely, at the time, emotionally repressed. Okay?
Okay.
I mean, it's better now. Therapy. I've been, therapy. A lot of therapy. But at the time, all right, for me, like, look, here's an example. Like, having a neutral conversation with someone at the time felt very vulnerable. I was being very open at the time. Or, like, standing near someone that I liked. For me, that was flirting.
Oh, just being near. That explains everything. Because we would like G-chat a lot because I was bored at my job. And we would like talk. And then when I would see him in person, though, Andy would be like, hey. And I'd be like, what? What is this? Hey. Just like a hey with a head flip or whatever that was.
Or like a...
And that
was me opening my heart to you.
No fucking... Okay, so...
Those G-chats, though, we looked at some of those G-chats today to get prepared for this, and they're, like, it's not like Naomi is, like, obscene, but there are points in our G-chats where she would flirt, and anyone who, with any kind of brain, would
take it as flirting, but my responses were like, do you know like in a movie when a robot gets caught in a logic loop and it starts sputtering and sparking? That's basically what my responses were.
Yeah, that's true. At one point I was like joking with him, because I'd be joking, because I'm always like an overshare team anyway, so I was saying something, I was like, Andy, when are you going to open your heart to me?
I was 0, 1, 1, 0.
Even like as a fucking joke in a G chat, I was like, this bitch. Honestly, it is a miracle we're here now. He was like, well, I didn't assume you were gonna come, that we were gonna hook up just because you came over. Y'all, I was at his house at fucking 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. What other reason I'm coming to? And keep in mind, I live in Harlem. Andy lived in Greenpoint. Okay, if you guys are from New York, if you know that.
If you're not, if you're from here, that's like going from Santa Monica to Las Vegas.
I mean, truly a distance, okay? I'm not coming over here to listen to you and your fucking roommate talk about Xavier Renegade Angel. Oh, you guys know it? You know it?
That's a good show.
That was like some stuff where I was like, what? I don't understand. So it was like, so literally it's like, why else would I be there?
You had to lure me. This is, look.
Oh, I had to lure this bitch to his own bedroom. What? I was like, I want to see your cats. He had cats. That's not a euphemism. I was like, I want to see your cats. And he goes, oh, they're probably hiding under the bed. And I go, yeah, I know. Like,
this is so embarrassing to hear out loud at this point. It really is.
I forgot. I was like, well, I was fucking putting the moves on. Shit, I'm glad you married my ass with all that I did. Running over to Greenpoint with a cupcake trying to get up under the bed.
It was still really, again, it was really chaste. It was a 3-hour smooch sesh.
It was.
And in honor of that, we're going to recreate that night for you guys right now. So strap in for some 1950s style sock hop heavy petting. Not even. That's even too far.
Sock hop heavy petting. Oh, that takes me back. Okay, so now you know how it all began.
With the smooch sesh.
With me trekking to Brooklyn trying to make love work, and here we are 8 years later.
In a podcast studio in Hollywood, baby. So anyway, guys, if you want to subscribe to the show, you can do it on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts from. Look, we live in an anxious world. If you just hit subscribe right now, the next episode, which comes out next Tuesday, the 17th, will just show up on your phone or in your iTunes thingamajig or wherever, and you won't have to worry about having the anxiety of like, when's the next episode coming out? I don't know. I got to take extra Abilify. I don't know what's going on.
It's like I say, honey, set it and forget it. You know, all the greatest projects. You just press a button, you're out. It's like a crock pot.
By the way, if you live here in Los Angeles, come to the live show. The next one is going to be on July 14th. It's going to be great. You can get tickets at couplestherapypod.com, which is our website, coincidentally.
And you can also follow us on that Instagram, baby, at Couples Therapy Pod. You can also follow us on Twitter at Naomi and Andy.
If you just want to follow one of us, you can follow either Andy Beckerman or Blacktress on Twitter.
And that's spelled exactly how you think it is. With the K, people. With the K.
You know what? This is so exciting. Our theme song is made by Samus, a rapper from Ithaca who lives in Philly now. I love her. She's great. I don't love her as much as you. I don't actually love her, Naomi. I love her music.
Honestly, it's very good that you clarified in this moment. I guess we would have you on the record as stating your love for another woman, but
I just got a lot of side eye, so I had to. I'm like, ooh, boy.
Honestly, shout out to Samus for making that dope ass theme song that I listen to on a regular basis when I need to feel myself.
But I think that's about it, Naomi. I'm so glad we could take this journey together into podcastdom.
Honestly, I've never been more grateful for the government. So, see you guys next week and every Tuesday for the rest of your life.
Bye!